Starfleet is the United Federation of Planets fleet of starships for exploring space and conducting diplomatic missions. Over the centuries of its existence, the Federation continuously gains more member planets and species, reaching a peak of 350 worlds by the 31st century. However, even when we see Starfleet personnel during the 23rd, 24th, and 25th centuries when the Federation has been around for a while, there seem to be more human members than non-human ones. So, why might that be? If we look at this from a purely Doyleist standpoint, the obvious answer, which has been directly stated by the production crew, is that putting a large group of people, even extras, into alien makeup is expensive and time-consuming. This could be easily resolved by making more animated series, of course. I like to explore things from a lore perspective on this channel, though, so I wanted to look into this matter from within the Star Trek universe. One reason is simply a matter of convenience. Starfleet Academy is located on Earth. Even with things like faster-than-light travel, the universal translator, a moneyless economy, and societal acceptance of aliens, relocating to another planet in another star system can't be completely easy. Another is that Starfleet is not the only option for exploring space in the Federation. Many of its member worlds have their own fleets, like the Vulcan Expeditionary Group. However, attending Starfleet Academy specifically is not required to join as long as applicants have a similar level of education. Michael Burnham, for example, attended the Vulcan Science Academy after having been raised on Vulcan, and she was allowed to serve on a Starfleet ship under the tutelage of Captain Philippa Georgiou when her attempt to instead join the Vulcan Expeditionary Group was unsuccessful. Over the next 7 years, Burnham became a full-fledged Starfleet officer with the rank of commander and was Georgiou's second in command. Something very similar happened over a century later with the Vulcan T'Lyn, who was transferred from the Expeditionary Group to Starfleet when her captain Sokol reasoned that it would serve her better. Another reason that may ultimately be self-reinforcing is the fact that a lot of Starfleet's most famous captains in universe have been human. These include Jonathan Archer, Christopher Pike, James T. Kirk, Jean-Luc Picard, Benjamin Sisko, and Catherine Janeway. Even Spock, an equally famous Vulcan Starfleet officer, was also half human. In real life, people are often inspired by people who look like them, which is why representation in things like media and governments is so important. As progressive as the Federation is, that way of thinking may still linger. When Nog becomes the first Ferengi in Starfleet, he takes great pride in that fact and likely believes that his position will inspire other Ferengi to join as well. Nog did eventually become a notable officer for his own reasons, as evidenced by the fact that a Federation starship was named after him in the 32nd century. There's another possibility that incentivizes one to look past the surface. It's long been established that many humanoid species in the Star Trek universe who have evolved on various other planets have an outward appearance identical to that of humans from Earth. These include the Ardanans, Argelians, Eminians, Lanthanites, Ramaticians, Ventaxians, and more. And that's only species from the Alpha and Beta quadrants. Travel to the Gamma and Delta quadrants would be made easier as time went on, so the species from those parts of the galaxy who look identical to humans could also be involved in the Federation and Starfleet. The galaxy also has multiple species capable of shapeshifting or otherwise altering their appearance to look human. When we see Illyrians in the 22nd century, they don't look like humans, yet Illyrians notably modify their bodies to fit new environments, and the 23rd century Illyrian Una Chin Riley was able to hide her status for years. Some other species that appear human may instead be making themselves look human, such as the Iosians, who are known for mimicking other cultures they encounter. We know for a fact that Kionians have a completely different appearance than the human-like form they choose to take while not on their home planet. Isolationist species like the Gideons, for example, may be doing the same thing when presenting themselves to outsiders. There have also been cases of aliens relocating humans from Earth to other parts of the galaxy, even in the distant past. These include the Briori, Skagarans, and Preservers. The human-looking inhabitants of planet 8924, for example, might be humans transported there during the fall of Rome so as to preserve ancient Roman society and culture. Other human-looking peoples could have had similar origins and simply named themselves after the worlds they found themselves on. Human settlers from earlier space exploration could have also named themselves this way. Knowing these things, it's probably best not to assume that any Star Trek character is human unless explicitly stated. It's equally likely that they could be any of the other human-looking species that I listed or otherwise referenced. Dr. Ta'ana even says that the USS Cerritos, a comparatively small California-class starship, has or has had over 100 different species in its crew. Though it might be wise to take certain things she says with a grain of salt, it's entirely possible that she's right. I think that these human-looking species being in Starfleet is a pretty fun headcanon, and one that I'll probably always have. Anyway, what do you think? What would you say are the in-universe reasons that there seem to be more humans in Starfleet than other species? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching this video. I've got more that speculate about other aspects of the Star Trek universe like this one, so check those out and subscribe if you want to see more. Live long and prosper, and I'll see you next time.